Hey writers, today we're going to cover a topic some of my awesome patrons have been requesting for a very long time, and that is how to start and grow what's come to be known as an AuthorTube channel, aka a YouTube channel where an author typically shares things about their writer journey, possibly writing tips and other things like that, usually to help grow their current or future readership and or to connect with fellow writers. When approaching this topic, I really didn't want to answer this question all on my own because I know every author tuber out there has so many different approaches and strategies and experiences with their channels. So as you can see, I've invited a few of my AuthorTube friends to join me here on screen, but also in the comments as we will cover topics like the following. Okay, we have a lot. Here we go. Some of them are benefits and some warnings you should know about having an AuthorTube channel, how to brainstorm video topics, scripting, filming, and editing videos, creating thumbnails that actually get clicked, promoting your videos, getting more engagement, being consistent on AuthorTube, tips for collab videos and live streams, and of course, trying to answer some of your more specific questions because this is a live stream. We have a bunch of you in the comments. So we are going to get right into it. I want to get my other friends to introduce themselves and tell a little bit about themselves as well. And we're going to address each one of these topics. But I'm also going to ask that any of you that are in the comments right now that are AuthorTubers already as well, please feel free to answer these questions or address these topics with us in the comments. We'd love to give you a shout out and we'll show your comment on screen and sort of allow other people to know that you have an AuthorTube channel to help support you. And also anybody who is thinking about starting an AuthorTube channel, please feel free to ask your questions and we will try to get to them as soon as possible. There's a lot to cover, and just to say right out the gate, we are not experts. There's a lot of good things that we're going to share that hopefully will be helpful to you and that others will share, but we're just going to sit here, have some tea or water, or coffee with you and chat and hang out and share what we do know, our experiences that we have, and hopefully you can glean and take and try whatever you want and see if it works for you. So I know I've been talking a lot, but I'm just going to address the first question real fast of what are the benefits and warnings of starting an AuthorTube channel if you haven't already. And again, guys, you can let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. But if you didn't know me, hi, I am author Brittany Wang, and this is my YouTube channel, so you can feel free to hit like and subscribe, all the things. But yes, I share writing tips. I also talk about my writing journey. I'm a young adult fantasy author. And I've been on AuthorTube since May 2018, so just a couple years, and it's been awesome. And I've really enjoyed connecting with other writers. I think that that has been a huge benefit, and also starting to grow my platform and my readership, which has grown so much in the last couple years, especially thanks to AuthorTube. So that's been really great. And I think one of the biggest warnings I would say is, as a writer, you think, oh, I'm going to start this thing. It's going to help me grow as an author in my readership. But it also takes a ton of time. It takes a lot of your time to film and edit and do all the things we're going to talk about. So that's the big thing for me that I have had to learn and balance with my writing. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to pass it off to our next AuthorTuber and my friends. Mandy, I think you're next, right?
Yeah, so I'll do a quick intro. So my name is Mandy Lynn, also an AuthorTuber, obviously. I'm an author of a couple of books, a book cover designer, and the creator of the book launch planner. I have been on YouTube, we just checked, for 9 years to the day, not gonna lie. So that was something we celebrated really quickly, and it turns out I am planning to do for next year for my 10-year anniversary. And I guess the biggest advantage of having an AuthorTube channel is that you can connect with your readers one-on-one and create a more personal connection with them. You know, you're not just someone who wrote a book. You are someone who wrote a book, and you can give the behind the scenes of it. You can show how you created it and just give so much information to your audience. The more of a downside, because we're doing that right now as well, right? Okay. So the downside to having an AuthorTube channel is that you do have to give a little bit, you have to get a little bit more of a thicker skin. because everyone has an opinion. And not everyone's going to agree with your opinion. And usually the bigger your channel gets, the more you will encounter people who don't agree with you. So that's definitely one of the biggest downsides. But I think the good outweighs the bad for sure.
Awesome. Thanks, Mandy. Next, we're going to go with Holly, right? Yeah.
Yes. Hi, guys. I'm Holly Davis. If you don't know me, I am Write Holly Davis across the interwebs. I write YA and middle grade fantasy. I am querying right now and trying to be traditionally published. And I have been on AuthorTube for almost 3 years. It was August 2017. So I remember I contemplated starting one in May, and then it took a couple months before I actually filmed my first video. So, but one of the benefits of AuthorTube for me has been being able to share what has worked for me and share what I've learned. That's one of the reasons why I started it, because I wanted to try to help people, because that's kind of like innate in me, the Enneagram 2 or whatever. But also kind of like a hidden benefit of that is that it's helped me learn from other people as well, because they'll talk in the comments, and usually I try to engage with people and ask them something that they can respond to in the comments. So I'm like, share your editing tips and tricks or something. So that's a very good benefit of AuthorTube. And then one of the warnings I would say is that there's like a learning curve. I mean, anyone can start like a channel, but figuring out the right setup for you, and what kind of lighting you want to use, if any, what video topics you want to do, finding your groove like with posting, and what kind of content you want to come out with. So, and then just feeling comfortable on camera. That's like a big learning curve too, like being okay with hearing yourself, and like being okay with messing up. So, you just got to be comfortable with the process and not rush it.
Yeah, love that. Savannah.
So, okay, I'm Savannah J. Goins, author of The Gwythinian and The Creepabanian, that are young adult fantasy novels, and I'm also a writing journey consultant and a author and a public speaker for entrepreneurial artists. And so so I've been on YouTube since summer of 2018. Holly finally convinced me to get on and start, and I really enjoyed it, but the editing took so long. It tells you how much I messed up. It just took so long. It was too much of a time suck for me. So I took a little bit of a break from it for a while, and have just started my channel back up like 2 months ago, roughly. So that's how long I've been on, and the biggest benefit would be meeting other writers. I've met lots of awesome people. I found Brittany. I think I knew Mandy already from Instagram, but I found Brittany and tons of other people through YouTube, and so I've loved that aspect of it. The warning, I'm using the same one as Brittany. It's the time. It takes a lot of time. And I was talking to a friend just the other day who she started writing a book, and then she started doing a podcast about writing. And the podcast has taken complete over her life. Like, all she does is the podcast. She doesn't have time to do the book anymore. And that's a danger that can happen with AuthorTube as well. So you have to be cautious of that, and try to find a way to balance how you use your time so that you still have time to write, because you don't want to lose your writing time because of the AuthorTube channel.
Right. And I don't know how that is not a topic that was in our thing, but like balancing might be something that we need to talk about at some point. I think we had a question sent in, so that would be great for us to chat about as well. I just want to shout out a few people because I see Allie, she just started her channel this week. So congratulations, Allie. And you guys can definitely find each other on YouTube, and all of these lovely ladies that are here with me are linked in the description below, so it's easy to find them as well. If you guys see other comments that you want me to shout out, I can be the one that click it.
Yes. Also, we invited other AuthorTubers to come and answer the questions as well. So I saw Keelan and Angela Ann. So we could get even more advice from them too. So thank you guys.
Yeah, Sarah said, I started my channel during Camp Nano. It was so fun. I'm so excited to learn more. Awesome, awesome. Caitlin, this is my friend Caitlin. She's been on for a while too. She says the benefits are definitely community. I've made so many friends over the last year being on AuthorTube. Definitely awesome. Let's see. I'm an AuthorTuber, but been in the industry for over a decade. Only found this platform last year. I love the community. Awesome. Cool. So you guys are all like connecting. Oh, and the comments just jumped. Sorry, guys. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's go to video topic ideas. And Mandy, can I actually ask you to go first? Because I want to go back through the comments and see if I can find any other like a shout out. And then is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the way I find video topic ideas, well, I have a lot of ways, but I mostly go for whatever I'm working on right now. So you guys will notice, because I have a children's book coming out, that a lot of videos in the future are going to be about writing children's books. But I also will just do whatever video topics people are asking me about, especially as a cover designer and someone who works with clients one-on-one. If they're a new author, they'll be asking me a lot of questions. And I love it when I have a video I can refer them to rather than writing a really long email that would not be as useful as just watching a 10-minute video.
Sorry, I muted myself. I love that. You guys can just keep rolling because we're going to do the same order. So go ahead.
Oh, me? Okay. Yeah. So interestingly, like my process has kind of changed because when I first started AuthorTube, like I did a lot of tags because that was something easy that you could like either talk about yourself or talk about your book. And you didn't have to like come up with a video idea, but then also if people were searching for that tag, then they could find your video. So I tried to kind of switch up like advice videos and tags. But now I've kind of like strayed away from the tags because I want to just, like for me, I wanted to be able to give more advice videos and I felt like those were taking up too much of my time, but I still miss doing them. So maybe once in a while. But usually like if I just think of a topic, I'll write it down in my phone. So I have a huge like YouTube idea list on my phone. So it's really easy for me to add an idea. And then I can like scroll through and just feel like what I feel like talking about. But I kind of try to go, like when I was really into editing, I started a whole bunch of videos about editing, or I try to think of like series of videos. And then I've also been like asking my followers, like, you know, hey, are you guys writing right now? Are you more editing? Are you interested in querying videos, to try to just gauge what they want? And so now, and a lot of people wanted like writing vlogs, which I didn't really do very much of. So now I kind of try to balance advice videos with like writing vlogs to kind of cater to both. So it's been interesting to kind of see how my content has kind of evolved from throughout the years.
Definitely. And I just want to add to with Holly's, she said like doing a tag. So if you search like writing tag on YouTube, a lot of those kind of tags will like pop up. Or if you know any of us and you're like, hey, like what tags can I do? You can actually go to our channels too and like type in tag in the search bar of just our channel, and like any tags that another AuthorTuber has done should pop up. So if you need like ideas for that, there's a way to like find them. Savannah, you want to go next?
Yeah, so I keep a Google Doc so that I have easy access to it on my phone or my computer, depending on whether I'm at my desk or whether I'm at work or, you know, standing in line somewhere. I don't want to waste my time, so I always have a doc available, and I just have one specifically for YouTube ideas, also sometimes for keywords. I'm trying to learn how to do like some of like the background metadata things, so I keep some like keyword notes with some of those. But I sometimes have people ask me how I did something. Like recently I did a cover reveal that went really, really well. And a lot of people asked me how I got the images that I had. So I have a video coming out on Tuesday about how I did that. And then also, depending on what I'm working on or what I'm learning the most about, I'll usually have those things on my mind the most. And so those things will kind of be at the top of the list underneath stuff people have asked me for. And that's kind of how I decide which ones to work on next.
I love that too, because like the more you just put content out, like anybody who's engaging with you, they're probably going to have some kind of follow-up question or some kind of like, how did you do that? And you can like, yeah, totally turn that into another video. We had a great question too from Caitlin. Can we also talk about how to choose topic ideas to do first? I have too many. So you might have the opposite problem. You have like too many and you're like, which one should I do? Do you guys have any thoughts about that?
Yes, well, I saw that Natalia Lee, she recently started using, well, so this is if you have 1,000 subscribers, there's the community tab, so you can make a post that shows up on YouTube. And so she actually put a couple ideas in a poll and said, hey, which one do you want to see next from me. So even if you don't have the 1,000 subscribers, you can still do a poll on Twitter or even do like the question poll in your Insta stories. So that's a good option because then you can see the interest of people and then you can just kind of keep revolving a couple ideas.
Love that.
I would maybe try categorizing them and see if you could maybe have like a whole month's worth of content. You know, if you have like 4 that go well together, that could kind of be like your focus of content for that month. Yeah, that would be my first idea for how to choose which ones. Or if you categorize them and then there's just one that like that one category makes you the most excited, even though you couldn't really tell which one video made you the most excited. If one category, it sounds like the most fun to do, then maybe that would be a good one to start with.
Yes, and actually Fiction Technician just said something similar. She also has, this is her AuthorTube channel. I'm actually gonna be doing a collab with her later this month, which is so fun. This is Jane, and she says you can always start with something you're really passionate and feel comfortable talking about. So especially if you're just getting started, that's like a great place to start. Even if you don't get a ton of views, at least you get the practice. And I also wanted to just piggyback, if you don't have the community tab feature yet, just like use Instagram. You know, you can put polls on your stories now. And you can also like just put in like an Instagram post, like, hey guys, here's like my ideas. Like, let me know down in the comments which ideas, you know, reach you, because if people tell you what they want, then it's easy for you to be like, oh, this is what I should do. Mandy, anything to add to that before we move on?
I know, like, kind of going off the Savannah, what she was saying about the categories, I also like to try to mix my stuff up by like 1 week. Like, I don't want to talk about marketing like multiple weeks in a row, so I'll try to mix it up. I don't know if that pertains to this exactly, but that's the first thing I could think of.
Yeah, I thought about that because I have like a character voice series and I've been I came out with 1 in March, 1 in April. So I'm like, if people aren't interested in this, but the people that are really excited about it. So then I at least have that 1 video, but the people that aren't, it's like, they're not getting that for like 5 videos.
Right. Yeah, so there's different, that's the thing too, you can really experiment, I think, and especially if you're in the beginning and you haven't grown like an audience that has a certain expectation, like try a little bit of everything and see which ones you really enjoy making, and in conjunction which ones are doing really well, and then you can sort of do that. Another thing that I would say is like, I found it really good to not just watch AuthorTube, because I think we can go down this whole road where like we think that like a video should be like this, you know, it has these standards and everybody should like look like this and have this in the background and like share advice and do whatever. But some of my most highly rated videos were like spin-offs of just like, oh, I saw this other like non-author tuber do this thing, and I was like, that's so cool, and that inspired me to connect it to writing somehow and do this other kind of video. And so I think you can get inspired and like change up how you're doing things and sort of stand out by watching non-writerly things, if that makes sense.
That's a really good idea.
But also, Keelan has an AuthorTube channel as well. I love it. And yeah, like I'm not a huge vlog watcher personally, but some people love them, you know. And so it's really like you can have different audiences and different people that like different things. So yeah. Can we just, I feel like a lot of people are asking too about the balancing issue. Can we, I know it's not in our script, but do you guys mind just addressing that? Like what is like the best way that you have balanced writing and like also being on YouTube?
You want me to go first?
Sure.
So I think I feel like I spend the least time working on YouTube because my big issue is balance with like my cover design stuff. And I also just got so used to like cramming everything into like one time slot when I had my full-time job. But I have templates for everything, like everything. So I've streamlined the process to a T as much as possible, and I still try to streamline it. So that's my biggest thing. And I'll probably talk about more of my templates later on because I know that some of them will be specific to like the other questions that are coming up. But yeah, that's my thing. And also I have a specific schedule where like Monday nights, I edit the YouTube video and I do all the SEO work and I upload it. And then Tuesday is the day it goes live, and that's when I share it out. So I just have a very specific schedule. And Thursdays are also filming days. So I just have a schedule.
Definitely. I feel like my answer is basically the same, like set aside specific time and just make sure that like if that's, it's like what's most important to you. Like if it's most important to you, like you already have books out and you're like, I really need to like grow my readership. Like maybe you need to set aside more time for YouTube, and that's fine, and set aside that time. But like, you know, if you're you know, more in a place that you're like, I really need to prioritize my writing, maybe you have a deadline or whatever, like just make sure like, okay, like I'm going to make simpler videos, or I'm going to just do talky videos, or, you know, changing up like how long something takes you and deciding what's more important, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I was going to say that also I found that like when like last year when I was in a really bad like writing slump, or maybe that was 2 years ago. Well, I have like one a year. So, but I would come out with like 2 videos every week because I had that time because I wasn't writing. So I feel like if I do more than 1 video a week, like it's already hard enough for me to do the 1. So when I do 2, you really know I'm not writing. So I feel like if you're sticking to just 1 a week, that makes it a little bit easier. You do have more time. And then if you get a little bit more of a, you know, if you get a little bit better at it, then you can think about bumping it up. But also I don't really know very many author tubers that like have really short videos other than Bookish Pixie, where their videos were like 3.5 minutes long, and I would always look forward to, because I'm like, I know I could just get a quick like content. So like, you know, that might be your thing too, just doing like a short quick videos, and that's a way for you to get that content in, even like especially if you're just starting out.
So for me, I feel like this is going to be like having to do with my answers to other questions, but editing took me so long that I quit AuthorTube because I didn't want to spend the time on it, and I also just despised it, honestly. I did not enjoy the process. So I actually recently hired a video editor, and it is like my favorite thing I've done all year so far. And I've done a lot of things this year, and this is the greatest thing ever because I film it and then I send it to her, maybe with a couple of instructions and like the order of the clips if there's a few different clips, and then I don't have to think about it, and it makes me so happy. It's wonderful. So that's the way that I've found to balance it, because I'm able to pay somebody else, and I didn't have the money to before. I might have considered it before, but I didn't have the money to. So now I do have a little bit more money available to me to be able to spend it on that. And I'm very, very happy to spend it on that, because that's just, yeah, it's made my life so much better. So in order to balance my time, I gave away the biggest time consumption part to somebody else.
And I know people are probably going to ask, where do you mind sharing where you found your editor, or where you went searching?
Yeah. So I found her on Upwork, and actually what I did was I put out a call on Upwork, describing what I was looking for, and I got probably like 17-ish applicants, I think. So I went through and picked my favorite 3, and then I paid all 3 of them to edit the same video, and then picked which one I felt did the best job at the best price. And fortunately for me, the person who did the best job was also the most affordable for me. So very happy turnout there. And something to keep in mind if you try to do that is there's a lot of people on Upwork who have like really, really, really fancy video editing skills, which is awesome. But if all you need is for somebody to take out all your mistakes and maybe like throw a little graphic on the screen or something, sometimes you don't need to pay all that much money to have a really fancy person, somebody with really, really more fancy abilities, if that makes sense. So you can find somebody who has basic skills, and that'll be maybe more affordable for you as you're starting out. That's what I'm doing, and I love it. Can't recommend it enough.
We can attest, Savannah has been very, very happy since she started doing that.
Yeah.
And the videos are like, they're coming out really good.
Yes.
She also says just that like there's been times where she's deleted everything and then just focused on writing. I would beg you not to delete things, but maybe to inactivate them or just to like step away for a little while so you don't have to start over every single time. But it's totally fine to be like, hey guys, or not even tell people, just be like, take a little break and then come back and ask forgiveness later. Just be like, sorry, I haven't been around, but this is the writing that I did, you know, in this. And any thoughts just before we move on? How long should a video be when you first start? Any thoughts on that?
I would say, and I think I even saw JL Willow in the comments say the same thing, that when you're first starting, it'll probably be easier to start on the shorter end. And when you get more comfortable on videos, you can start doing longer videos. Like even in the past year, I've gone from having videos that are like 8 to 10 minutes to now videos that are sometimes 20 minutes or more. But that just, it comes with experience, and it's also easier to talk in front of a camera for a longer amount of time. So if you're uncomfortable, start with shorter videos and you'll notice yourself slowly get more comfortable.
Agreed.
And I think your watchers will start to trust you more if all of your information is relevant and useful versus trying to like add fluff in just to make it longer to get more watch time. People will be more loyal to you, I think, if all of your content is really valuable, even if it's shorter.
Yes. Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes is what I heard is like a sweet spot. And I think that, especially if you're starting out, it'd be easier and faster to edit too. So I think that's a good number to aim for.
Yeah. Love. Cool. Oh, people are already asking about scripting, filming, and editing, so I'm just going to get us rolling into those. So any tips on scripting that we have here? I'll just go first and say that if you are not watching Sunny Lenarduzzi on YouTube yet, she has amazing videos on how to script your videos to not only get people to keep watching, but also to be search engine friendly so that people actually find your videos organically and you get new viewers just from YouTube. So Sunny Lenarduzzi, go search her right now on YouTube, follow her. And I would just always say, like, I start with like an intro that is like very like right away, like this is what you're going to get. This is the value that you're going to get. Even if it's not teaching, it's just like, hey, I'm going to be sharing this, that, and the other thing. So you better, if that interests you, watch the whole thing. And then I get my content. I usually like bullet it out a little bit, or I script it word for word, and we'll talk about that. I can talk more about that in a second. But then I have an outro that like just, I actually have been using my outro more to, instead of being like, hey, that's all I have for you guys today, I'll be like, hey, if you want more videos like this, here's some other videos that you can go check out right now. So it keeps them watching. And you can actually have at the end of your video some suggested videos on your channel to go to next. So that's sort of like my basic outline every time. But, Mandy, you want to go next?
Yeah, so I'm kind of the same way, and I don't know, Brittany, if you have a specific way you actually go ahead and write your script. I use a template, and anyone who's like a part of the AuthorTube Academy tier on my Patreon page knows how freakishly specific I am about my template, because it's not just like what I'm saying. When I write my script, I also make notes as to what's going to be on the screen at the time. So that way, when I sit down to edit, it makes the editing process go that much quicker. But there's just so much to consider when you're writing a script, like halfway through stopping to engage with your audience and ask a question, and just saying stuff that'll kind of help you show up in search engine, like making sure you say your keywords over and over in your script. But yeah, there's a lot to be said about scripting, but that's kind of like the basic overview. Yeah.
Yeah, I always, like, I have like my standard intro, and I've kind of changed where like my outro, I would say like, click, like this video and subscribe. But now I've been trying to say that at the beginning, just to gotta get like, before people like drop off at the end, be like, wait, help support me. So I've been trying to say that at the beginning. Now when I'm scripting, I try to not go word for word, but kind of do more like bullet points. And sometimes I have sentences, but just that it's okay for me to kind of deviate from that, because like someone said in the comments, Amanda, like I kind of feel like stiff and robotic. So I try to, and like you can be very enthusiastic, like you think that you're really enthusiastic, and then you like are watching it when you're editing it and you're like, wow, I look so boring and dull. So you kind of have to be like a little bit overly like enthusiastic, and even just kind of like have some fun with it. Like if you're giving an advice video, to kind of make it seem a little more natural. And then when I'm doing like writing vlogs, I try to have a couple points I want to point out. So like the vlog I came out with before, I'm like, oh, I have this new calendar, I can mention that. Oh, I've got this Kanban board, I can show that. So, you know, that's my kind of like loose outline for, or loose scripting for vlogs too. Or like day in the life vlogs. But yeah, I try to be a little bit looser. When I have more of my like how-to videos, they are a little more scripted because I want to make sure I hit all my points. That's why I like the chattier videos, because I'm like, oh, I don't have to plan as much. This is awesome.
So for me, I originally wrote out everything word for word because that was just easier for me to start with. But as I've gotten more comfortable with speaking, the only thing I script word for word is my intro, and I use not my regular like, hi, this is who I am, this is what I write thing, but like the Sunny Lenarduzzi's hot intro, the hook, outcome, and testimonial. And I think my video coming out on Tuesday is the first one where I've actually done this, but I write that out word for word so that I can reduce my word count, because I always say more things than I should. So I take out any extra superfluous words and make sure my keywords are in there really well, and my title is in there really well, and I try to make sure that that is worded perfectly. And then I kind of write out an outline, kind of like that I could use for a blog post. And depending on how wordy I feel, I might kind of write it out kind of word for word, just so I could use it as a blog post later, or kind of more as an outline format. And then I will just use it as an outline for the video, just to make sure that I don't miss anything and kind of stay on track. And in theory, I'm going to always make the blog post on my website at the same time as the video, or like soon after. That has not happened yet. It's happened twice, I think, but I have not been able to nail that habit yet, but I'm working on that one.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that too going forward. I just also, I mean, we've said some of these things, but Keelan says keywords in like the first 15 seconds. Shove them all in there for sure. You should also be putting them in your description. And if you can add closed captioning to your YouTube videos, that's also like really helpful. Just as a side note. And we have a few other bullet pointers. So Angela, bullet points for sit down videos, but never for vlogs. I think for me too, like I found that if I do word for word and I can make it feel like organic, then I will, because there's a lot less editing that needs to happen then, because all I need to do is just like trim and put it all together and it's done. When I go off the cuff, sometimes the editing like takes forever because I'm like, I don't want to say that. Ooh, I want to pull that over here. But yeah, but the bullet points definitely help. And I had something else to say and I forgot. Fiction Technician says sometimes I start by script by chattering, yes, into the recording app on my phone. Ooh, just getting all my thoughts out, and then later I can refine. That is also another cool thing. I love it. Awesome. So let's move on to filming, but really quick before we do, I did promise our very good friend Keelan here that I wanted to do a very quick shout out of, I'm gonna get the banner off of here somehow. Here we go. For all you who love AuthorTube or are AuthorTubers, there's an AuthorTube virtual retreat that Keelan has put together. And there is a whole website that she's put together, but also the YouTube channel. Sorry, it's going to take a little while to load because we're live, but this is the YouTube channel here. I'll put the link in the comments. And so if you're looking to connect with other AuthorTubers and also write and learn more, these three ladies are actually in the retreat, so you'll be on their channels if you follow all of that stuff. And I couldn't get in on this one, but hopefully the next one. But I just wanted to shout this out because I think this is a great way to connect with more AuthorTubers, and we're going to talk about later why it is really helpful for your channel too to connect with other AuthorTubers and even do collabs and stuff like that. So I'll put those links in the description and in the comments. But yeah, sorry guys, I just wanted to like throw that in there because I think that's really great. But that commercial break over. And moving on to filming. So let's talk about filming. I know some people were sharing in the comments a little bit ago what they use to film or how they film. Sorry, tips for filming. We're not at the editing stage yet. Yeah, so sometimes I film one line at a time, like I said before, so it's easier to edit. But I've also been trying to like just break things up. You know, I've seen some author-tubers too, like not even a vlog, but they are like more chatty, but they like go to different places in the house and like make it feel vloggy, even though they're like explaining things. So I've been trying to like change things up just to like keep people's attention, because sometimes if you're just like a talking head, it like can get a little like stagnant. So yeah, but I use a combination of my my phone sometimes, but then I also have a camera, so I switch it up sometimes. So I don't know, Mandy, got some other thoughts?
I have a whole setup, but my biggest thing for filming is lighting. I think you can film on your phone or your laptop and it can look perfectly fine. But if your lighting is terrible, even if you have the world's best camera, it's going to look awful. Yeah. And when I look back at my older videos and I cringe, it's because the lighting is awful. So if you have the money, sorry, this cat is, don't mind him. He's a co-host. If you have the money to invest in lighting, that would be the thing to invest in. And then also just being yourself. Like my lovely husband, as much as I love him, has compared my videos to other people and is like, you know, you could have more energy by doing that. I'm like, honey, that's not me. So be yourself, and when you first start off, you're going to be awkward on camera, but the longer you do it, the better and more comfortable you'll be, and you'll kind of develop your own style, so to speak. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I have this like really, it looks like so old school, but it's like the camcorder that like you pop out. I didn't bring it down here, but like you pop it out and you can like see it. But I like flip it so I can see myself. Because like back when I like was first trying to look at cameras, they're like, well, cameras are more for when you're like being still. But if I wanted to vlog, Chris was like, you should get this, you know, video recorder. So I was like, okay, so that's why I got the camcorder. And then I have like two light box, or I don't know if they're called light boxes, but I have it linked in I have all of my equipment linked in my YouTube, what's it called? The description box. So you can find those specifically. But I agree with the lighting. And then also I used to use a mic, but I lost the little like fuzzy thing, and then I'm just like, whatever. So I need to get another one, because that just helped block out any little bit of extra noises if like someone closes the door, or I know like sometimes people are like, oh, there's someone mowing the lawn, I hope you can't hear them, they're doing construction. But like if you had the mic, it wouldn't pick any of that up. It would just pick up your voice. So that's really helpful. I do want to get that back again, because like I do hear a difference in my video quality. But also with filming, I try to set myself up for success as far as like if I am doing bulk filming, then trying to like get all the shirts I want to wear to like change into quickly, making sure that like my phone is on silent, that the camera's charged, because that's the worst thing in the world when you see it dying and you're like, great. So you have to like rush, and it's the worst thing in the world. And then also if you have pets, keeping them out. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I let them roam around. So just kind of trying to set yourself up for success so that like you can just film it and do it and you don't have to have like any interruptions.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for me, I usually try to film in the same place. So my bookshelf is pretty much always the same, and there's a random appearance of Phil back there. I always keep my bookshelves pretty much the same, so my backgrounds are always ready to go. Let's see, I got totally distracted by that video bomb. So the other thing I wanted to say, just practicing getting in front of the camera. Yeah, it took some practice. If you get the Marco Polo app, that's something that I was pretty used to the camera at that point. But if I would have had the Marco Polo app, it's like you it's like video messages to people instead of text messages, so then they can watch it later. So instead of having to like be present at the same time, it's like a text message but a video, so it's more fun. That has made me so much more comfortable being on video, like randomly, just like if I'm walking around, like I leave work and I get on Marco Polo and I talk to my phone so that my friends can see it later. That's something that I would not have been comfortable with before, and something that has always made me feel awkward about the idea of vlogging. But I think if I ever did a vlog, I'd be much more comfortable with it now that I've done the Marco Polo stuff so much.
That's such a good point, because I think, like, yeah, we can give all the filming tips in the world, but if you're not comfortable, then it's really hard. So I would second that. Marco Polo is a great way to practice with your friends, just showing your face and voice and being okay with like how you look and how you sound. Also, next step up from that might be practicing on Instagram stories. So if you haven't started showing your face on Instagram stories and just doing quick, like 15-second videos saying hi to people you're connected with, like that's a great place to practice. There's also IGTV, which is another, you know, kind of YouTube platform, but for Instagram. So there's other ways that you can like get comfortable with that and test out things. You can even create like your first few videos and just send them to your friends and be like, what do you think? You know, like, and I was also going to say, with the lighting thing too, like if you don't have, like I'm using a ring light right now because I like to be in this space and it's not always like super lit, but if you just set up like right in front of a window, usually that gives you like amazing like natural lighting. And so even if I think someone was saying like, what if I don't want to use like a professional camera? Like a lot of phones nowadays, but like we've already said, have great quality. So just like set up like your phone in front of you, in front of a window, and start there, because it really, excuse me, does give you like a really great start, I think.
Yeah, I'm using my phone right now, and I don't see a difference. I mean, maybe somebody else does, but I can't tell a difference between my phone and the nicest webcam I have. So.
Yeah, exactly. The other quick tip that I have for filming too, if you are doing bullet points or like you know what kind of sections you're going to talk about, some people will like put the camera on and just film and like go straight through. I'm pretty sure that's what Savannah does, right? Do you just do it like one shot?
That's what I mostly do. Sometimes it gets broken up a little bit if there's bigger chunks, but it's mostly one piece, yeah.
So, and you have an editor, so that's always helpful. Well, what I've been doing, and I'm trying to like sort of branch out and not be so stickler about it, but like it's really helpful for me in the editing process once we get to the point, is like I will say a couple lines and then stop the camera and then look at what I want to say and then turn the camera back on and record and then stop the camera. And so when I get into the editing phase, like I just have all of these clips that all I need to do is like get rid of the beginning, get rid of the end to all of them. And then it's like pretty much almost all edited, and then I can add all the fun things. So it might sound a little like too much, but that's what I do right now.
Nice.
Cool. All right, let's move on to editing, which we've kind of already talked about. So feel free if you're like, what I said before, that's fine. But if you have new things to add, definitely do. Let's see. I used to use iMovie, which a lot of people use. I think it's a great, you know, if you have a MacBook, it's a great place to just get started and learn like the basics about like get yourself situated to a video editor. Then I bought Movavi, which I think is around like $70 or so, but it's a one-time purchase and I love it, and it really has everything that I need. And so I really like that. And then, like I said, like I just get rid of like dead space first when I go through and edit. So I do all of that first. And then all I have are like the good clips that are left. And then I'll do like finer edits. And then I'll add things like banners and different things that can sort of add visual interest after. And then I watch it all the way through to make sure it's all good. And then I'm good to go. So that's sort of my basic editing process in 5 seconds.
Yeah, so mine, like I mentioned earlier, in my script, I will have like a column that's for what I'm saying and then a column for what the visuals are on screen. So when I edit, I don't think the way most people prefer to edit, but this is the way I do it. And I literally edit it, clip like how exactly it's going to look as it shows up on YouTube. Like Brittany, you just said you edit it in terms of just making it sound good first, and then you add the graphics in after. I add it in as I go. I don't know why. That's just my preferred method, and I don't think most people would prefer to do it that way, but that's how I work. Because I like when I go to rewatch the video the first time, in theory, it should be perfect, and I just have to fix any whoopsies. And sometimes I miss the whoopsies. But, so yeah, and like I said, because I have my template where it says what's on screen, I don't need to think about it. I just do it. I already have the graphics prepared. Usually if I need to film any B-roll, which is just any film visuals that you have going on, I'll film that on the same day that I actually film myself talking. But I think it's super important to add graphics. I mean, if you're new to this, that's something you can ignore. But if you want to get better, adding in those visuals helps your retention. And your retention is how long someone's watching your video. So the longer people watch your video, the more YouTube is like, oh, they must be interesting. I'm going to keep recommending their videos. So that's why it's important to keep people engaged.
Yes, I need to have more visuals. This was helpful. Because I get lazy. I'm like, oh, I could write this, but oh no. So I need to be better about that. Because I try to save time. But I use Adobe Premiere Pro. And that's like $23 a month. So it is pricier, but at the time, my fiance, he got his degree in sound recording technology, and that was what he used. So he already knew, he edited my videos at first. And then eventually when I was like, ooh, I have this really complicated video, like, I don't want you to have to do it. And so he taught me. And so I've just been using it on his computer too, because his is faster than mine. But so I've just stuck with it ever since. And so there's tons of YouTube tutorials too about it. So, but oh gosh, I forgot the question. So what I try to do is do my editing all in one session, because I'm in the zone. So usually, because I'm using Chris's computer, I try to do it in the mornings before he wakes up, on the weekends or something, so I can just be uninterrupted. And then while the video's rendering or the video's uploading, then I'll be working on my thumbnail, or looking at keywords and pulling any videos that I was going to refer to or something. So I try to be a little more efficient there, while it's uploading and rendering, is trying to do all the other stuff. And then afterwards, I try to make all of my posts to share on social media. So kind of try to maximize the editing.
Y'all already know what I do. I throw it at somebody else so I don't have to do it. So I have no tips for this. Hire an editor so you don't have to do it if you can.
Well,
I think
I was just going to say, will you give, you tell her, exactly what you,
right.
You give her the pictures and when to put it in and stuff like that?
Yes, I send her instructions. One thing I did is I had to upgrade my YouTube, not upgrade, but I had to, change my YouTube to, a brand account instead of a personal account so that I could give her access to it. So she's able to upload the videos straight to it. So I send her so I put all the clips into Google Drive, and then if there's any images or anything that I want to flash up on the screen for a minute while I'm talking, I'll put those in Google Drive too, and I'll indicate in the instructions where I want them to go. And sometimes I say it in the video, and she just knows from that where to put them. And then I'll also tell her which videos I want to show up at the end on the end screen, and she does that for me too. And then if I have something I want in the cards, she puts that in for me. And she also does the closed captions for me. It's wonderful, you guys. I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing.
I'm just because of the closed captions.
That's nice.
Yeah, Sorry, were you going to say something?
No, respond to that, and then I'll say something.
I think I was just agreeing. Yes, oh, okay. It's wonderful.
So I don't know if you guys know, but once you upload your video, I don't know, I leave it for a day or so, and then I go to closed captioning, the closed captioning area of of YouTube in the studio, and I go to the closed captioning for the video, and it has it already there. The closed captioning is there, but for some reason it's not it doesn't pick up very well for, I don't know what all the things are, but if you go in and say you want to edit it and then you personalize it by just like going in and like editing a few things, sometimes I even add the search terms that I'm trying to like one of the main search terms, and I add it to the beginning of the closed captioning. And I add my name so that Google, when they see the closed captioning, it like sees it automatically. So just little hacks in there. If you like, you don't want to go in and like type in every single word you said, like usually YouTube sets it up for you and then you can just go in and edit it.
And I do go and, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll go after you.
If you guys hate doing closed captioning at all, like you don't want to touch it, you can go to rev.com and add your video there, and they'll, like, a freelancer will create the captions for you, and then you just have to upload them. Or what I do is Rev created another company called Temi, T-E-M-I, and you paste in your URL, and it's like an AI, artificial intelligence thing that creates the caption for you, and it's much better than the caption that YouTube creates. And then you just go in and edit it, which, so like a 20-minute video will take maybe a half an hour to create the captions. And I just make sure that all the words are correct. I definitely don't go in and make sure that like the periods are in the right spot and the comma. I'm like, it's a caption. I don't give a crap. So I just make sure that word for word things are correct. And especially not only my name, but like when I say my book titles, making sure that everything's spelled correctly in terms of that as well. But that's like, I want to say it's like 20 cents a minute, whereas rev.com is like $1 or $2 a minute. So it is something you have to purchase, but it's like, it'll cost me $3 to create captions for a video. Whereas before, if I used rev.com, it was $20. So yeah.
Yeah. We could talk about search engine optimization, probably a whole video on it, you guys.
Oh my God, yes.
And I think that you have videos on it. I know that like I have a few videos about AuthorTube stuff, and I know a few of us do. So if you guys go into any of our channels and do, again, like the search bar just in our channel and type in AuthorTube or AuthorTube channel, like we have more videos, like more in depth than some of these things. So definitely check that out. Oh, and I just wanted to say Meg got here. Hi, Meg.
Hi, Meg.
So if I haven't shouted out your AuthorTube channel yet, the comments have just been flying by so fast. And I know like I'm even hearing half of like people's answers because I'm just like trying to monitor everything. But if I have not shouted out your channel yet, please say so in the comments. Just be like, I have an AuthorTube channel, and I will put your comment up right away because I want to make sure that we shout you all out. So just let me know. But we are going to move on because we want to be able to get through everything. We're going to go into creating thumbnails. And Mandy, I'm going to pick on you again and ask if you can go first so that I can catch anybody that I haven't caught already.
You're so nice.
I'm so sorry.
My thumbnails, I feel like, is the one thing that I can just hardcore improve upon. But so what I do personally is I work in Photoshop. And I cut myself out of the thumbnail, and then I gray out the background so I really pop, and then I just use whatever my keywords are as text in there and make it nice, big, and easy to read. One thing I want to improve upon, I would say, is making mine maybe a little bit more colorful, but my branding is very like, I like gray. So, I'm trying to get more creative with my colors, but that's an area of improvement.
Yeah, I use Canva to make my thumbnail, and I usually at the beginning of the video, before I like do my intro and start like talking about the topic, I'll like do a couple poses, and I'll do a couple because I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this, or maybe this one looks like the one I just did. So I try to switch it up. And so then I edit that in Canva. I learned this from Brittany, is that I open up that picture in the Facetune 2 app, and whiten the background because my walls are actually like, they're like cream, kind of yellowish. And so it like, even when I use the whiten, I'm like, it's still like, it's kind of yellow, but that kind of brightens things up a little bit. So I try to just make sure that my thumbnail is brighter, because there was a time where it was very like yellow and it wasn't really popping out and didn't really look good. So Brittany helps me with that. And then recently I just found out, I forget where, but you know, in the bottom right of the YouTube video is the time, like how long the video is. And so sometimes I've had like my words cut off by the time. So now I've been trying to make sure that like my title is higher, or my picture is like there, and then I have the title, just so it's not cut off by the time.
Yeah. I totally wasn't thinking about that, and you just said that recently. I'm like, oh no, I have to go back.
I think about that all the time now. Like I can't mess up.
Sorry, Savannah, go ahead.
You're fine. So before I used Canva, now my editor makes them for me. Sorry, not sorry. But I do, red and black and white are kind of my brand colors. So usually there's a lot of red in my thumbnails, which is pretty bright and helps them stand out. I do know now from doing more research that I've been putting too many words on a thumbnail. So my next video coming out only has like 4 or 5 words, and they're going to be a little bit bigger. And there's a couple of other graphics having to do with Instagram on there too. So it'll be clear that it's, you know, it's about Instagram visual things. So yeah, I do like pause for a second and just smile at the beginning of the recording, so that she could just take a screenshot of that and use that for like the part where my face is in the thumbnail, and that's it.
And it's so smart to remember to do it like first thing, because I've forgotten to take a thumbnail, and I've gotten all like out of my thing, and like the light is gone and it's terrible. And the next day I need to like make myself sort of look like the person. The other thing is like, I found that like my hair looks all like nice at the beginning, and then by the time I'm filming, I'm just like, I'm so tired and annoyed, and I'm like, shoot, I should just do it at first.
I try to have fun with it too, sometimes by adding like an emoji or something to kind of make it pop, or arrows. So play around with it too, have fun with it.
Mm-hmm. The other thing, and forgive me if one of you already said this because I've been listening, but I'm also looking at the comments, is test it on your friends. So if you have 3 different versions, or if you can make 3 different versions of your thumbnail, maybe with like different words, or like you have like a couple different pictures of yourself, like I'll send it to some of the ladies. They'll be like, okay, here's your 2 or 3 options. Which one makes you want to click more? Because that's like what you really need. And you also want it to look at it real small, maybe like this small, because like a lot of people will see it small on their phone, and like if they can't read it or they don't know what it's all about, they're not going to click on it. So yeah, Savannah said, make the words big, have few words, but like also you can test them out on people and be like, which one makes you want to click more, and I'll choose that one. Love it. Okay, moving forward, promotion and engagement. So how do you get people to engage with your content, and what do you do to start promoting it? What are sort of like the main tips? I'm just going to throw it in there that like be sharing your video like within the first hour is really the most important time. Like even with like Instagram or wherever you share anything, like social media algorithms and stuff are looking at like how fast you're getting engagement. And so share as quickly as you can I share like on all my social medias. I have like a list of things that I check off. So my video goes live, and then I go make myself available for the next hour to share and to also comment back. So if people comment within the first hour of my video then I make sure that I keep checking back at least for that first hour and respond right away, because you're actually like doubling the amount of comments on your video, even though you're the one responding. I also like my own video and I watch it all the way through. And I know that sounds weird, but it just sets up your video. People see that there's already a like on there, which makes them feel like, oh, I should like it. And they already see a whole view on there, which makes them look at that more than the videos who aren't getting any views. So it's just signaling to people what they should be looking at. So that's my 2 cents. I'm going to pass it off to Mandy.
Yeah, I mean, just the having your comment and pinning your comment is, I don't know what it is, but if something is blank, people don't want to engage. But once you kind of get the ball rolling yourself, you know, liking the video, commenting and pinning, and especially if you want to promote something, like sometimes if I talk about like whatever I'm specifically talking about in my video, whether it be my Patreon page, my newsletter, book, pre-order, whatever, I will leave that linked in the comments.
My dryer's done, sorry.
Understand. And I will pin my comment, so that's the first thing. And then I will also, besides that, also ask a question there as well. It's usually whatever question I also ask in the video, just to encourage people to comment. And then as far as sharing things out, I have a long list. And like Brittany, I just check things off as I go, because I usually start without the list and then I'm like going, and then I look at the list and I'm like, oh, I still have a lot of work to do. But yeah, so that's my biggest thing. Like I have just like Facebook groups that I share to, my blog, my Patreon, my newsletter. I'm probably one of few people who does a weekly newsletter, but I just have so much content, and I found it actually has improved my open rate because people remember me more. That's not me saying you guys need to do a weekly newsletter. That's just me saying that's what works for me. But yeah, so those are my tips.
Yeah, so like I said, like while my video is uploading, that's when so I'm making my thumbnail, and once I upload that, then I start making that thumbnail so I used to like just copy paste that thumbnail into Instagram, but now I just kind of make a plain, like a picture just with my myself and not like the text as well. So I like prep that post, and then I just copy paste that into Facebook and prep and like schedule that post, and then schedule, because you can save drafts to Twitter. So then I save that as a draft. So then like the day of, because sometimes I have to go like straight to work. And so maybe that's something that I can do better, because I'm not really able to like engage with people because I post and then I like leave. So maybe I can find a better upload time, which I wrote that down. So this is helping me too. But so I usually post it, and then I can just quickly, okay, I know it's already going to Facebook. I just have to press, yes for this tweet, and then post the draft for Instagram. So I'm not having to think, oh, how do I want to word this? What's the link again? Everything's already there. And then I try to comment on people's comments when I can. I found though recently that I used to get an email when someone would comment, and now they haven't been sending them to me. So there was one like a couple weeks ago, I'm like, oh my God, no one commented on my video. I was so sad. And then I went onto the video and I'm like, oh my God, there's 6 comments. Like they didn't show up. So that I used to be checking my email, but now, so if in case that's happening to you guys, like make sure you're actually checking the video too, because for some reason I'm not getting the emails.
Is it in your spam?
Well, I got like 1 or 2. And then I didn't get any of the other ones. So I was really confused.
If you use Gmail, Gmail categorizes that under like social. So
it could be, that's true too.
That's weird. Because I have it in my primary. So it shows up in my primary. And like, I check the other ones. I don't know.
Just like, yeah, I would like be refreshing it during the first hour if you can, because that would definitely help. Savannah's going to go next, but I just wanted to shout out, I don't know how long Jenna's going to be here, but hi, Jenna, thanks for being here. And yeah, all these people that I'm like sort of putting up randomly as we're talking, I just want to make sure that everybody's AuthorTube channels are getting shouted out if we don't have time to like say something specific. So just so you know, if people are talking, you see that. I'm just trying to do that. So Savannah, go ahead, share.
Yeah, so the other thing, one of the things that I do besides stuff that you guys already mentioned is keeping track of people who ask. Like when someone says, can you make a video about this, or how did you do this? I keep their name in my Google Doc with my ideas for videos. And then also if I post like an Instagram post and I say, would this be an interesting topic? Everybody who comments and says, yes, tell me more, I keep track of their names so that then I can go and DM them and say, hey, this video that you were interested in just came out. And it's not spammy because I'm not sending it to random people saying, please give me attention. I'm saying, you know, I saw that you were interested in this and it is now out. So in case YouTube doesn't show it to you, or, you know, Instagram doesn't show it to you because algorithms are fantastic, then here it is in case you want to see it. And that's something that I think people have appreciated. You know, some people might have missed it otherwise, or, you know, that way they found out about it sooner and it was an issue that they wanted to, you know, to have an answer to and get figured out. So that, and then I have a theory, something that I've kind of tried but have not really fully tested. I don't know, like whenever you guys watch Netflix, do you see, like when you're deciding what to watch, they put different covers on the same things? Like you'll see one cover for one thing, and then the next day you'll see like the same title and maybe the same character, but it's a different photo. So I've kind of thought about trying to like use different images for, you know, to talk about the video a couple of different times, like maybe use a graphic with a quote from it and then say, you know, here's more in the video, and then have one that's like the thumbnail picture, and then one that maybe is a picture of something that has to do with it. I haven't fully tested this, but it's a theory that I think would be worth trying, because that way somebody who's really drawn to quotes and not pictures might be more likely to click on it. So it might appeal to different people. And then also when you see something multiple times, there's been a couple of stupid shows I've been interested in on Netflix only because I keep seeing them come up. And I'm like, okay, what is this? Now I really have to know. I just keep seeing it. So that's a theory. I don't know. Do you guys try that? Have any thoughts on that?
Yes. So sorry. I'm just thinking in terms of from an ads perspective, people in marketing do that all the time. It's called A/B testing. I do that occasionally with my newsletter in terms of the subject line. And the way like you do it for email is that it'll send half the emails with both subject lines, and whichever one works better will be the one they end up using. And you can do that for like Facebook ads, and you can absolutely do it for YouTube too. Brittany, I believe you've actually done it in the past as well, right? You've changed your thumbnails, right?
I have, yeah. And I don't want to, finish what you're saying, and then I'll comment for sure. Or are you done?
I have something else in terms of engagement that I thought of. Sorry, I'm also responding to a comment.
No, that's fine. No, that's good.
But I can, it's unrelated to this, but I do have like two other things to say, if that's okay.
Oh, and I do too. So let me comment on that, and then you'll go, and then I have a couple things to share too. So yes, so with that, like if I have a video that I know has like really, really great content, I won't do this for every single video, but if I'm like, oh, like I just feel like people, like the people that watch it love it, but like the thumbnail obviously isn't grabbing enough people. So after like a week or two, sometimes like I'll go back and I'll just experiment, and I'll like sometimes I've taken myself out of the thumbnail because sometimes it's just like they're not connecting to the person for whatever reason, and I try to like pick like more of a picture of whatever I'm trying to whatever value I'm sharing in the video, and just do words in like a picture. Sometimes I will update like the font, like, and sometimes I'll do that for a series of my videos. Like sometimes it's the font, sometimes it's like the hook, like the words that I'm using aren't communicating exactly what's in it, and then I'll test it. And like some of my videos have gotten more views and have actually grown because of that. I don't know that I would go back and like do all your old videos, but like anyone's that you feel like, hey, like I think it's just the thumbnail that's like not connecting with people, like experiment. You never know.
And then unrelated to that, but another super good thing you can do just to share your stuff online is if what I do is that I will take a snippet of the video that's like 30 seconds long, and I will save it as a separate video and share it on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, because video is super, super engaging on social media, and social media loves to promote it. But you don't want to post your YouTube video on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, because then they won't go on YouTube. So you want to create that preview that shows what you're talking about. Usually if you use the hot script format, it would be that first 30 seconds of your video. So you share that, people get interested, and then you're like, to watch the full video, click here. And then when I make that post, I will also go ahead and pin that. So I pin it on my Facebook page and my Twitter. So you'll notice if you go there, whatever is my most recent video is what's pinned at the top there. And then if you want to get people engaged in your comments, if someone comments, and this is something I'm bad at, but I want to do and do a better job of doing, is if someone comments, when you reply with a question. So then they are not forced, but are maybe obligated to reply again.
They're inspired to.
Yes. So then your one comment has turned into 3, maybe 4, 5, 6. I don't know, but getting a conversation going in your comments, because as long as your video is engaging, then YouTube will be like, I need to promote this video.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I want to bounce off of that too is that I see a lot of people sharing their videos and just being like, new video. And it's like, especially if you don't have a really loyal audience yet and you're trying to grow, people don't necessarily, they don't know why to click. Like it might even say on your thumbnail, but that's not usually enough. So for me, I'll always like preface it with like why they would even want to, or like who is the audience for this video. So I'll like ask a question. I'll be like, are you doing Camp Nano right now? Like, are you struggling, to slog through Camp Nano? Are you trying to get more words? Well, guess what? We're doing a word sprint. Or guess what? Like my video is the answer to your question, or the content that I'm going to share is going to help you make, this goal that you're trying to do, or it's going to inspire. My vlog is, might inspire you to, organize with your bullet journal and organize your writer life. Like, so try to like, especially even when you're planning your videos, you can be like, what kind of value is this going to bring? And that's going to help you sort of like, if you're putting in your stories or an Instagram post or something, sort of starting off with like addressing that instead of being like, hey, guess what? I want you to go see my video. It's sort of telling them like, hey, like, this is why, like, taking the time out of your very busy schedule. Hi, Moon. Taking the time out of your very busy schedule is to watch my video is going to be worth it for you. So that's just a thought as well. So, okay. Anything else before we move on? No. Okay, cool. I feel like maybe we should have waited to talk about balancing with consistency, because it's sort of the same thing. We did previously, if you guys are just tuning in earlier, we did add a topic that was just balancing your writing with your YouTuber life. But any other thoughts, guys, on just being consistent on YouTube? Because a lot of people start channels, but they don't always continue to post regularly. They get stuck. What kind of things do you have to say? And I'm going to pass it off to Moon and Mandy. Because
he looked at me. He's like staring at me now. So I would say, because I've been doing this for a very, very long time. And way before AuthorTube was even a thing. And way before people watched my videos. So my biggest tip is to stay consistent, is to fake it till you make it. Pretend like hundreds of people are watching your videos, because that's what I did, because people were not watching my videos, and then eventually they did start to watch my videos. So pretend like you have an audience waiting for your video to pop up every week. And then eventually you'll just form a habit and you're not going to have to think about it as much. So really that's the thing. Like, I feel like it wasn't until maybe the past few years that I really felt like I started to understand YouTube and feel like I was actually connecting with people. Because before that I was just talking to a wall, but I tried to not let that bother me.
I love it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm still learning. Like, there's so many things that I'm like writing down from this, because like there is so much that goes into it. So just not letting that stop you, knowing that you don't have to be perfect with it. And that can help you like feel better about coming out with that video. It has helped to like choose a day that you post the video, because then that can make you consistent. Like, since I post on Tuesdays, okay, I make sure that I'm filming, like, so I film on the weekends and then I have it edited by Monday, and then try to get it out every Tuesday, because I know that those people are looking for that video on Tuesdays. And if not, then I feel obligated to post, sorry, this is late, or sorry, I won't have a video up this week. So that kind of helps to hold yourself accountable, if that's what you need. But then also, like, there's sometimes where I'll have that, I have that whole list of all the YouTube video ideas, and I'm like, I don't want to film any of these. Or sometimes I just feel too busy. So I will literally sit here with my camera and I will just talk about like how I'm feeling. And it's kind of more of like a chatty, like, writer life update. And then I'm like, oh, now I have a video and I didn't have to like work hard at it, but it really resonated with like viewers because they might be feeling the same way. So, not letting yourself get hung up on that too.
Yeah, definitely.
So when I had my channel in the beginning, bulk filming was the greatest thing. The editing was still horrible, and I didn't bulk edit or anything, but like batch filming, exactly, Kylie. Batch filming is amazing. So far, in the past couple of months since I have restarted my channel, I have not been organized enough. / I've also just had so many other projects going on that I have not been able to carve out more time in a big chunk to bulk film. I do want to, but what has been helping me stay consistent is because my editor works with lots of other people, I want to make sure I get my stuff to her in plenty of time for her to get the video out. So actually what I do is I film right now one video, but in theory, in the future, it'll be more videos, but I film one video on the weekend. Occasionally I have to film on Monday if I don't get to it on the weekend, but by Monday night, I send my stuff to her, and then she has that entire week to edit it, do the closed captions, let me look at it and see if anything needs fixed, and then I can do in theory, I would have already done keyword research and have those all picked out, but if I haven't, then I can do that afterwards. And then that Tuesday, which is like, I don't know, 8 to 10 or 11 days after I filmed it, that's when it then comes out. So there's tons of buffer time for if anything needs to go wrong, it has time to go wrong and get resolved.
Yes.
So that's how I've been staying consistent so far. And then also knowing that my editor is relying on me and that it's not fair of me to hand her things last minute and be like, I still need to have this on time, sorry, I'm messing up your schedule, but I still need this, and then I also don't want to, for her to miss out on getting that pay because I couldn't get her stuff in time. So knowing that, she's relying on me a little bit, that's really helping me be more motivated to be professional and do stuff when I say I will.
Definitely. I think accountability is like huge. And so I'm just going to tack on, like, for me right now, like, I've been wanting to focus more on my writing. So I actually asked these ladies here, what do I do? Because I don't want to be filming and editing and taking all this time, and even batch filming isn't working for me. So what do I do? And I was like, I could do live streams. I don't know. And they were like, just do live streams. So literally, I think like the last like 3 or 4 weeks have been live streams and collab videos. And a lot of them have been collabs. And that is like, I do a little bit of prep. I get people involved. I show up. I film, like, do it live with you guys, and then I'm done. And then all you can do is share it. And it's like, right now, it's just my happy place. I know live streaming isn't like the happy place for everybody. Yeah, we're almost at an hour and a half. So like, I feel like I sort of want to go into a little bit of Q&A and maybe talk about live streams and collabs like organically. But that is something that helps me, that like, whenever I'm like tight, I'm like, how can I turn this into a live stream, or who can I pull on here to like talk with me about stuff? So there's still a video and there's still value in content, but like, I'm not spending hours upon hours filming and editing and doing all the thing. The other thing is like, feel free. I know we're saying be consistent, but you have to take a week or 2 off and batch film and just edit and like get ahead of yourself. And then, you do one video, you put it out, and then you have like a couple weeks already done. So you can focus on other things and like sort of take your time filming the next few. And then sort of, hopefully you'll have like, you'll always be ahead of yourself. So that's sort of another thought as well. Oh, there were so many other good things that people are saying as well.
There's a lot of talk of bulk filming. Did we talked about it quickly? Who here films?
Wait, say that again.
Who here bulk films? Okay.
Yes, I bulk film.
I used to. When I worked full time, I had to. I would film an entire month's worth of content at once, but now I just have my weekly habit of sitting down to film. Plus, I sometimes change what video it's going to be next week, last minute. So that's why I can't bulk film it.
Yeah, sometimes I do that where I change, like, I'm like, oh, actually, I want to come out with this video. So then I kind of switch it up. But yeah, 3 is like my max because then I get tired.
Yeah, definitely. I think Jenna was just saying that she did four at once and basically lost your voice. So we feel you. We feel you. Okay. Real quick, because I don't want this to be like crazy long. I know we all have other things to do. Are you guys cool with another 10 minutes and maybe just talking lightly about a few things, answering some questions here and there? You guys cool with that? Okay, so if you guys have questions about live streams or collabs, we did have stuff prepared, but I feel like there's other questions that are coming up that might be more important to you guys. So I'm just going to start clicking on questions, but if you want us to bring up anything about collabs or live streams, ask it as a specific question in the comments, and we'll like speed answer so we can get those. And if you would like to see a part 2, or like hear about things that like we're experimenting with that are helping us. So Savannah shared something earlier of like, I think I'm gonna experiment with this more and I can let you guys know how it goes. We could bring other like author tubers on here to share even more. But yeah, if you would like around 2 or 3, just let us know in the comments. So we know that that would be a good use of our time. But I'm just gonna start clicking on questions. So Keelan says, how does everyone feel about premieres? Real fast. I guess
when it first came out, I actually started using them for every single video, and it lost its luster really fast. So I think they're great to do on a special basis. So like for cover reveals, for anything that's big and exciting basically. Like if this video for whatever reason stands out of your other videos, do a premiere for it. If it doesn't, if it's more of like your usual content, then I would say skip the premiere.
Yeah, I haven't ever done a premiere just because I'm usually not there for it. So, but maybe like if I will change my upload like schedule then, or like upload time, then maybe that's something I would do. But I haven't had like big announcement videos, so.
Right, and Julia's basically echoing what we're saying of like major videos and important things. It's definitely a cool feature. I like using it when I have the, hold on, I'm gonna take this banner off. I like using it when I have the time because I get to engage with people in the comments live. Or, you know, yeah, if I want to gauge if like I want to do anything else about that topic, then it's a cool place to like engage with people in the comments and be like, hey, was this helpful? Do you want to know anything else? Let me know. And then that can give me ideas for future videos. I also try to make it a big event. So like I'll like on Instagram or whatever, I'll be like, hey guys, like this is premiering at this day at this time, sort of treat it like a party. And I'll have people respond to a poll that says like, are you going to come? Are you going to watch the replay? And I'll say like, hey, I'm going to be on in the chat box 15 minutes early and I am free to talk with you about anything and everything. So that sort of gets people there ahead of the premiere, and then they're there watching the video. So that is a thought as well.
Yeah, I haven't done a premiere before. As a watcher, I always get really bummed when I see that when I see something and I go to click on it and I'm like, why isn't it clicking? Oh, it's a premiere. I can't watch it right now. What? So that always really disappoints me. But it doesn't seem to work really well with my work schedule because I still have a full-time regular job. So it doesn't really work well with that schedule for me to do premieres. But if they were requested, I would find a way to do them probably. And when I someday am full-time working from home, definitely.
I saw another question. I'm trying to find it because it was buried back here, but someone was asking what are the places you actually share on socials, especially when you have a very small following. And anybody else can share as well, but I just wanted to say that, like, I mean, I do everywhere, Instagram, Twitter, you know, newsletter, all those different things. But if you have a small following, I would like start making friends. I always say make friends, not followers. And even if you only have 4 or 5 friends, like share your video with them, ask if they'll watch it, if they'll put a comment on there, if they're your friends. Usually they will, and that will help you get raised in the search engine as well. And if they will share it, because chances are, if you're just getting in here, maybe they know some more people, and if they really like the content, maybe they will share it and help other people see it. I don't know if you guys have other thoughts.
Can I chime in on that real quick?
Yeah.
So there's the kind of people who walk into a room and say, I'm here now. Let's all pay attention to me. And then there's the kind of person who walks into a room and says, oh, there you are. I'm so glad you're here. Let's talk. Be that second person. go find other people through hashtags or whatever. Go find other writers and you be a friend to them. Don't wait for people to come be a friend to you. If you want friends, go be a friend to them, and then they will reciprocate.
Yes. I love that.
That's so true. Just pretend like you're friends already.
I always think too, like if you don't know what to say, you know, so we're talking about be a friend, like you can do that on YouTube here by commenting on other people's videos. You can also do that on Instagram. A lot of people on Instagram watch AuthorTube. But like, yeah, take an invested interest in other people, especially other people that like write the same things or read the same things, like find like things that you can comment on, and you can give them a compliment. You can share a shared interest. And there's a third one that I'm forgetting. There's like 3 things that I'm always like, when I have nothing to say, I'm like, what can I do? And it's really just thinking about that other person, like Savannah said, and like investing into them. And, you know, not everybody is going to reciprocate, but the people that do could become your like closest friends. Some of these ladies over the last couple of years have become like some of my closest friends, and it's been very, very fun. Let's see. I didn't even read this yet. I just saw a question. I have videos for family on my channel. Should I make a new separate one for AuthorTube, or would it be fine to combine those? So this is actually a really good question about should people be niching down? Can they do different things? What do you guys think?
I think ultimately you can do whatever the heck you want, but if you want your AuthorTube to be a business, so to speak, you have to treat it like a business. And also in terms of like, do you want that content to be seen by everybody? Because you never know, one day you might blow up and then all of a sudden these videos that you thought you were okay with being public, you are no longer okay with being public. Mm-hmm. I personally, like I used to have some embarrassing, more personal videos on my channel, and literally 2 weeks ago, someone commented and was like, I never thought I'd see content like this on your channel. And I was like, oh, we're going to private all of that now. I totally forgot it was there, and I didn't remove it. I just set it to private. And if you are saying like, there are videos for your family, like maybe you share the videos and that's how you communicate with your family, do them unlisted and just send your family the link. So that's a solution. But yeah, if you want to get business type results out of your channel, you might want to consider treating it like a business and having 2 separate channels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Because like my channel, it just started, you know, like I had just my regular videos. I think like a chicken's hatching, my fish is jumping in the tank. And then I had a lot of like videos of me playing like my dance games. But it's like, I don't post those on there because like that's not what like that channel is. Like I'm like, this is my writing advice channel. So I specifically did that. And then like if I just started coming out with like these dance game videos, like people would be like, what the heck, who is this? This is not what I'm here for. So I don't want to like confuse anyone.
Right.
Also, if you have family members in the videos for family, especially kids, if your channel does blow up, you might not really want all these, you know, awesome strangers who are great to be writer friends with to know a whole bunch of things about your family or necessarily know what your kids look like. I know some other people who have had problems with people trying to be like too personally involved in their lives. And especially if you have kids, you really don't need to have that. So to protect their privacy and the privacy of like your other family members, you might want to just keep those things separate for that reason too, for as your channel grows and you become more known by people who you don't know.
Yeah. I'm also wondering if she was talking about too, like, because there are certain channels that are just for families, like family channels. So
okay.
No, but it could totally be that too. So just in case it's the other one, I just wanted to say too, like, those sound like 2 different audiences, and it's like some people will subscribe for one thing and then see your writing videos and be like, wait, I thought this was a family channel, and then they will unsubscribe, and then you'll be totally confused and not really growing the way you want to. But the other thing is too, like, I think as you create more content, you can infuse different parts of yourself into videos as long as they have to do with your writing or with, so like I have a couple videos where Ben and I have done like a song on it because my husband and I are musical, and like it had something to do with the writing process. I can't remember what it was, but it's a part of who I am. And so I was able to like you know, sort of fit that in. And it was a really fun thing for people to see a different side of me. But it's not like I'm just gonna do just music videos like on my channel. Like, but if you know, have like family related content that has to do with like being a mom and being a writer and like doing that kind of stuff, I think that those kind of things can totally work.
And Keelan is making a huge point, and it's a point I wanted to add on to as well, is the guidelines when you have a channel that is content that's kid friendly is very, very strict. Like if you say your video is made for children, I believe, and don't quote me on this because it doesn't relate to me, so I haven't done the proper research. I believe they will turn the comments off on your videos, which is a huge engagement loss. So it's best if you have a content that's made for children and content that's not made for children, you will benefit from having two different channels, because the way they treat channels that are made for kids and kid friendly is very, very different now because they've gotten really strict about that.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah. And so you can definitely go research about that if that is a niche you're looking into. Okay. I think we're going to wrap up here. It's 5:30. We've been here for an hour and a half. Everybody, if you've appreciated my lovely friends that have come on here to share with us, please say thank you in the comments, and you can doubly thank them by making sure you're subscribed to their channels because they are linked in the description. We've also featured a bunch of you in the comments, sort of showcasing you guys here. So guys, go support each other, go find each other's channels, go subscribe. But if you have additional questions that we did not get to, because I know there were a ton, like the comments were just going, please put a comment not in the chat box, but in the comments below that will actually stay on the video. So yeah, so after this video, put that in a comment and one of us will try to respond to it real quick, or we will save it for maybe like a part 2 when we do this again, because I think there's still like so much we can share.
So much.
It's, yeah, I think there's always new things. Again, I'm just going to say too, like, don't just watch AuthorTube, watch all different kinds of YouTube channels because you can learn so much from so many different channels and how they do things. Everybody's saying thank you in the comments. So we're so glad that you guys found this helpful. Keelan is amazing. Smash the like. And yeah, you guys have been amazing for sticking with us for an hour and a half. Is there anything else you guys wanted to say or that I'm forgetting before we sign off? I feel like my brain's like mush.
Just thank you guys. Yeah, there is so much content. I would be up for a part 2.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, part of me is like, let's just keep going, but I'm also like, my cat's telling me he needs to be fed.
Yeah, if anybody has, oh, go ahead.
Nope.
Okay,
go.
if anybody has questions about working with a video editor, I'm not like rich or anything. I have very, very carefully delegated a very, like, the little bit of money that I have to spend on this, like, for this on purpose, because it saves me so much time. So this is not just like, you know, all my like crazy discretionary funds. I very specifically have spent this money here. And so if you have questions about how I'm managing to do that affordably, probably the best thing to do would be send me an email at savannahjgoins@gmail.com, or send me a DM on Instagram and I can share how I've done that with you if you're curious.
Yeah. Do you want to put that information in the chat box real fast?
Yeah, great idea.
And you guys can feel free to put like your Instagram handles or whatever you want in there as well. I'm just going to wrap us up and say again, thank you so much. I'm also going to put the links to the AuthorTube virtual retreat in the description as well, because I forgot to put that in there before. So you guys should definitely engage with that, because that's going to be super fun. And I'm also going to plug real fast because I've been putting my videos on like Thursdays for a little while now, but I'm going to be having another live stream on this coming Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Caitlin Duncan. And I don't know, Caitlin, if you are still here, but we're going to be talking about this incredible, awesome, super fun writing tip that we heard about at a writer's workshop, and it has been just helping us so much in improving our stories, and we're super excited to share it with you guys on Monday. So if you're around during the week at 4 p.m. like you have been now, and you want to come chat with us and hear about that and chat with us, we might also be giving some feedback if you have a story idea you've been developing and you want some feedback on it. So follow me. I'll put it in the chat here. Follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be posting some stories, asking some questions. Lots of fun stuff. Again, everybody has fun stuff going on. So we're going to sign off. Thanks again so much, you guys. And we'll let you know when we do a part 2. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.